Day 16 of the Diddy trial has just wrapped up, and shocking new links between Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce have surfaced. It's becoming clear that Diddy may not have acted alone, and reports now suggest that Jay-Z was involved with Beyonce when she was just 16. That's not all. Diddy's former assistant took the stand, claiming he groped her and even threatened her life. Meanwhile, a security guard Diddy allegedly paid off to hide his explicit tapes has now come forward revealing everything that went down in Diddy's hotel room. There's a lot unraveling fast, so let's get into it. Insiders say Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship has been deeply toxic from the start. He reportedly pursued her when she was just 18. And fans now believe he groomed and later controlled. Nearly every aspect of her life on top of that recent revelations suggest he hasn't exactly been faithful either.
And he cannot be trusted. So let's get into it.
I predict a Beyonce and Jay-Z divorce announcement in 2025. It's officially gone too far. It's too much. The allegations are terrible. And I'm one of the biggest fans of Beyonce. She is a legend. She is so talented. And if you know Beyonce, she is so picky about what she posts on social media, who she associates with. I feel like the people around her, are very strategic on how her image comes off. And her being tied to Jay-Z, I just don't see it playing out like that. Like, I just don't see her sticking by his side for the long run, especially right.
The truth about Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship is finally being exposed. The secret business ties, the grooming allegations, and even the cheating rumors are now out in the open. Jay-Z reportedly began seeing Beyonce when she was just 16, while he was already 28. And this went on quietly for a few years. It wasn't until she turned 19 that he made their relationship public. Jay-Z has consistently avoided discussing this in interviews, and sadly, this isn't the first time he's been accused of something like this.
Biggest names in music even meet?
Well, we met a long time ago. Award shows, a lot of different performances.
And at what point did the conversation come, hey, do you want to do some music?
You know how people, you see each other and you respect each other's music. It's always that conversation, we gotta do something. You know that.
Right.
The time filler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When that time filler turns into something real, then it's...
Another addition if you think you're looking at a super cute, super fashionable couple. But really it's a 19-year-old Beyonce and a 31-year-old Jay-Z. But as the internet is so good at doing, they have sleuthed out the truth thanks to Jay-Z's own lips. They met when she was 16 and he was 28. I don't know about you, but at 28, I don't meet 16-year-olds and think, that's my future wife. But I guess I'm different than most of Hollywood. When will Jay see his day?
She was a kid at that time, correct?
A 15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed. Everyone was talking about it. And the 6 hours that she spent with him, and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up to the next day to come and collect the check.
Well, and
this is her life.
The rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was
Very
17 is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then
Have
had
you
to
spoken
apologize.
to my friend Jonathan Hay? You should talk to Jonathan.
Please.
Because Jonathan was there. He was right there working with Rihanna. And it was right when they started crafting her to be seen as a brand and commodity only and not a person.
The truth about Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship is finally coming out. The hidden business connections, the disturbing grooming claims, and even the cheating scandals are all being talked about. Jay-Z allegedly started seeing Beyonce when she was just 16 while he was already 28, and the relationship stayed under wraps for years. It wasn't until she turned 19 that he went public with it. Jay-Z has often dodged questions about this in interviews, and unfortunately, this isn't the only time he's faced similar accusations.
So much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about you. That's how hateful you guys are. How you step on anybody to stay on the top. So remember, your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up. I'm here today, and what I got to say, I'm gonna say it. So don't make idle threats to me. Cause see, I ain't Biggie. See, I ain't Beanie Siegels. I ain't Freeway. How you wrote all them off the minute they did for you to get you to the top. All them writing for you, and then the minute you get a little taste of success, you wrote them off. You just totally said, I don't know him. Say you don't know me. I dare you. I dare you. Remember, all the receipts, all the proof, the old school footage, I still have it. See, hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay on top. But there's one thing about me, bro. I can't be bought. This is Uncle Ron. Just like I know how you guys started, I can put my foot down and make it all go away.
As we dig deeper into this relationship, it becomes clear that things aren't as perfect as they seem. Jay-Z and Beyonce may project the image of a picture-perfect couple, but behind the scenes, it's a very different story. Jay-Z and Diddy share more in common than most people realize. And just like Diddy, Jay-Z has a violent past. He actually pleaded guilty to third-degree assault after stabbing Lance Yun Rivera in December 1999, while Diddy was tied to a nightclub shooting that same year.
Pop rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
For Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know I'm not a perfect person.
The people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is and was rambunctious, you know, just out with it. It don't mean that they're not two of the same. One just a little quiet with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. Their little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah.
The people around Jay-Z have been saying this for years. Jay-Z was pimping out Beyonce to Diddy the same way Diddy was to Cassie. Hollywood is a disgusting place, and this trial is now revealing all of the horrifying things that went on behind the scenes. Jay-Z groomed Beyonce from the time she was 16 and brainwashed her. This is why Solange fought with Jay-Z and why she distanced herself from the Carters years later.
Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. 250 cameras all over the house? Somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on something.
Jaguar Wright, who once performed as Jay-Z's backup dancer, has spent years trying to warn the industry about the kind of person he really is. She's been calling him a monster from the start and claims that Beyonce knew exactly what was happening, but chose to stay silent instead of taking a stand. She didn't just ignore it. She actively helped cover up his actions because for 4 years, I've been screaming.
Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere. Forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop. Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
Diddy and Jay-Z weren't working alone, and everyone who helped them cover up their disgusting crimes is going down with them. Eddie Garcia, the hotel's security supervisor, testified in court about how Diddy pressured him into signing an NDA. Diddy and his team desperately wanted to erase the video of him beating Cassie. In exchange for $100,000 divided among members of the hotel's security team, Garcia said, he signed a non-disclosure agreement that called for his silence and the destruction of evidence.
Today, the jurors in his trial heard from a former security supervisor at that hotel. His name is Eddie Garcia, and he testified that not long after the attack happened, Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram, called him to ask for the footage. He said that he told her no on the phone, and again when she showed up in the lobby, said he told her no again. But that night, Garcia testified, Christina Coram called him again, and this time she handed the phone to Diddy. Garcia told the jury in Combs' federal trial that Puff said if that video ever got out, it would ruin his career. He testified that Diddy promised to, quote, take care of him if he could only find a way to get that video. And so, Eddie Garcia, who was promised immunity to tell the truth in court, reached out to his boss, who
who agreed to sell the video for $50,000. And the following day, Garcia brought a USB drive with that video to a meeting he said included Diddy, that chief of staff, Christina Coram, and one of Diddy's bodyguards. But before handing over that little USB stick, Garcia said he told Diddy he was worried. He was concerned he might be implicated in a crime if Cassie Ventura ever called the police and complained. At which point, according to Garcia, Diddy had a plan. FaceTimed Cassie and ordered her to, quote, "Tell him you wanted this too, Cassie." A freshly beaten up Cassie was there on the FaceTime wearing a hoodie and complied with Diddy's demand, Eddie testified. He then said he signed a contract swearing that no other copy of the video existed and swearing him to silence with $1 million penalty if he ever spoke of what he saw or of what he did, i.e. the payoff. In return, Garcia says he was handed a bag containing $100,000, double the amount that Garcia's boss had.
Phone records of Diddy's conversations with Eddie have also been obtained by the feds, and these records implicate his chief of staff, Christian Coram, in a lawsuit separate from the federal investigation filed by rapper Lil Rod in February. Coram was described as the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein.
Diddy's former chief of staff, Christina Coram, had evidence found in her phone that was seized. Today, we heard the testimony from Eddie Garcia, who was a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel. And he said that Christina Coram and Diddy reached out to him multiple times to try to get possession of that video of Diddy beating Cassie Ventura, which he later claimed that him and his manager made this video disappear for Diddy and they were paid $100,000. After his bombshell testimony, the government said, "I'm going to enter a stipulation into evidence." During a search at the Miami airport, law enforcement seized 2 cell phones from Christina Coram, and they are talking about when they rolled up on Diddy trying to get on his private jet when they were raiding the house in Miami and in LA. And after re-looking at all of those photos, I was able to confirm Christina Coram was with Diddy this day, and this is when they took both of her cell phones from her. Weirdly enough, this is the very last time that we would publicly see Christina Coram with Diddy, and before she would go ghost, deleting all of her social media accounts, even her LinkedIn. Now, the government is saying that there was evidence in one of these cell phones. There was 24 contacts, including one for Eddie My Angel. Eddie Garcia, the security guard, just had testified that Diddy kept calling him Eddie My Angel after he got the video for Diddy. And they were also able to confirm that it was Eddie's cell phone number that was attached to this name in this phone. And if you remember in his testimony, he said Christina Coram even called his personal number to try to get him to get this video. And there was another contact that said Eddie My Angel, friend, Intercontinental. There was also a photo of the IDs on Christina Coram's device. In Eddie's testimony, he said that Diddy made them hand over their IDs before they signed the NDAs and got the $100,000.
One of Cassie's friends, Brianna Bongolan, also testified that Sean Diddy Combs dangled her off a 17th floor apartment balcony and that she saw him throw it at Cassie. Brianna told the court that she saw Cassie bruised and hurt several times but didn't know what to do since she was scared of Diddy. Diddy had convinced the people around him that due to his political connections, nothing would happen even if they reported the crimes, and the only one getting hurt would be Cassie.
Victim is expected to testify here today that Sean Combs used lies, drugs, and threats to force her into freak-offs after the jury hears more from a different woman who claims Combs hoisted her over that balcony.
One of Cassie's friends, Brianna Bongolan, also testified that Sean Diddy Combs dangled her off a 17th floor apartment balcony and that she saw him throw it at Cassie. Brianna told the court that she saw Cassie bruised and hurt several times but didn't know what to do since she was scared of Diddy. Diddy had convinced the people around him that due to his political connections, nothing would happen even if they reported the crimes, and the only one getting hurt would be Cassie.
I want to try something new.
What did you see? Prosecutors asked. Her black eye, Bongolan said. I was a little quiet, and I remember saying, I'm sorry. Bongolan testified Combs once hoisted her over this balcony after barging into Ventura's apartment on the 17th floor. For a split second, I was thinking about if I was going to fall. She said Combs kept yelling at her, "You know what the expletive you did," before throwing her onto this furniture, leaving bruises. Combs denied it happened, and the defense challenged.
And I know we have some video of her as well. And so she has been testifying about a particular incident in which Sean Combs dangled her over a balcony. We have some full screens we can put up for you in which we're telling you a little bit about who Brianna is. Now, she goes by the name Banna. She's a friend of Cassie Ventura, who sued Combs in 2024 for allegedly groping her and dangling her over a balcony. She testified about this incident. So Cassie Ventura testified about this particular incident, testifying under an immunity order granted by the judge. So yes, Brianna is under immunity here, immunity order. She got on the stand earlier and she invoked the fifth. So the big thing, the big takeaway from her testimony is about being dangled over the balcony. Defense counsel has really been trying to tear her testimony apart, attacking her credibility as well as inconsistent statements they're saying that she has made as to where exactly this dangling incident took place, saying that Cassie Ventura said it happened in a hotel, but you're up here on the stand saying it happened in an apartment, basically indicating that her and Cassie are colluding together just in order to get money from Combs, because Brianna has filed a $10 million civil suit.
Several of Diddy's other victims also took the stand during the trial, claiming he threatened to release their explicit tapes if they ever went to the police stylist Deontay Nash, fire investigator Lance Jimenez, and LAPD officer Chris Ignacio. Were all called to testify today, and each of them delivered strong statements that painted a clear picture of Diddy's violent behavior.
That's day 11 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs and racketeering trial. A former stylist for Sean Diddy Combs taking the stand, testifying about the tumultuous relationship between Cassie Ventura and the music mogul, saying he heard Combs call Ventura insulting names and threatened to beat her. The stylist also testified he heard Combs tell Cassie that he wouldn't put her music out, that he would get her parents fired from their jobs, that he would put out sex tapes. Now, earlier today, the judge denying the defense's motion for a mistrial after a Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigator testified that fingerprint evidence from the suspected break-in of rapper Kid Cudi's house was destroyed. That investigator testified he did not order the prints destroyed. The fire department concluding that the 2012 fire set inside Kid Cudi's car was caused by a makeshift firebomb known as a Molotov cocktail. The investigator telling the jury, quote, "Somebody had lit it, cut the roof, and dropped it in the front seat. In my opinion, it was targeted." And weeks after testifying as the prosecution's star witness, we learned today that Cassie Ventura has given birth to her third child. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His defense team says any sexual encounters were consensual. If convicted, Combs faces the possibility of life in prison.
She also shared that she was raped months later at Diddy's Los Angeles mansion, describing the experience as horrifying, overwhelming, and filled with shame.
Here in New York, we are in week 4 of Sean Diddy Combs' criminal trial. The music mogul has pleaded not guilty to federal charges against him. Prosecutors continue to call witnesses who say they were victims of Combs' alleged abuse. Jerika Duncan has the latest, and we warn you that some of the details may be disturbing.
A former personal assistant for Sean Diddy Combs returned to the stand Monday after accusing the rap mogul of physical abuse and sexual assault. Testifying under the pseudonym Mia to protect her privacy, she alleges that Combs groped and raped her. She told the jury she didn't speak up because she, quote, would have been silenced and would have lost everything. On cross-examination, defense attorney Brian Steele tried to undermine Mia's account, insinuating she lied about the abuse and was after Combs' money.
This is the type of questioning you do in a he said, she said type of situation where there is no corroboration. This was the perfect opportunity for the defense to get aggressive, to point out those inconsistencies.
Steele showed jurors dozens of examples of Mia sending friendly, supportive texts to Combs for years after her employment with him had ended. Steele also emphasized that before the trial, Mia didn't mention sexual assault allegations until after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. On the stand, Mia told the jury, "I have never lied in this courtroom. Everything I've said is true." She testified that she didn't come forward sooner about alleged abuse because she was, quote, terrified and brainwashed after working for Combs.
It only takes one juror to throw a wrench in the prosecution's plan and not get a conviction. If even one juror gets back there in that deliberation room and causes some reasonable doubt, that could be the defense's case.
The most disturbing part of this entire situation is that key witnesses aren't being protected. The identity of Mia, a former personal assistant to Sean Diddy Combs, who testified under a pseudonym about alleged abuse, was leaked during the federal trial. Even though the court had ordered her anonymity to be preserved, these allegations point to dozens of unnamed witnesses and possible co-conspirators around the world. And some of the people who could verify these incidents are now dead, which raises serious questions about how anyone can properly defend against the claims the defense team isn't even allowed to share the names listed in the disclosure letter with Mr. Combs until April 18th, making it even harder for them. To investigate properly, these new claims could take months or even years to fully examine, and if accepted, they would stretch the trial far beyond the 3 weeks originally estimated by prosecutors. This could trigger multiple mini-trials and massive delays. And honestly, it's a valid concern. If uncharged conduct is being introduced, as evidence, doesn't the defense deserve time to look into it and challenge it fairly? If this goes forward, there's a high chance it could stall the entire case we all know Combs is pushing for trial. But how can he defend himself with so much stacked against him in just a few weeks? Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy aren't just music icons. They represent a powerful empire built on fear, silence, and manipulation. And now that empire is starting to collapse, we'll keep tracking every new development. So if you want the truth before it hits the headlines, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let us know in the comments whose name you think is next to fall.